Hello, hello, Heidi Ho. How are you out there? What's up? You guys have returned, so I haven't scared you off yet, I'm guessing, which is awesome. I want to congratulate you for doing the hard work that you've been doing, the time that you've been putting in. Super good. We are on Gatekeeper number three. Number three. We are on Gatekeeper number 3 today. And today we're going to put some stuff into action. We are going to put stuff into action. So I hope that you have taken the time from the last couple videos to really, I hope a lot of this is kind of starting to like tickle your thoughts, if you will, as far as what am I thinking about this? Like, what is not working? And interesting, what do I think about this? What are my experiences? What is my Google mind telling me? Or noticing that it's putting you in a struggling state. So today I want to start to put some action. We have like the thought processes and the concepts, but now today I want to help you turn the head and actually get what you want. Okay, so we're going to talk about a few things today. It'll be fun. Probably get your pen and paper out ready. You might want to write down some of these ideas because until they become a habit, I know for me anyway, they took some time to actually become automatic. Okay, so today we're going to talk about one of the biggest action things that you can do for turning your head and for getting in that living state rather than that struggling state is to ask better questions. This sounds so incredibly simple, but it is absolutely, in my opinion, it is the game changer. It is what separates the successful to the unsuccessful. It is what separates those talented athletes that are succeeding and playing in the Major League Baseball versus the ones who don't cut it. And talented, but they don't cut it. And the difference makers between the two, a lot of the time, is their mindset. And it is the questions that they're asking, whether they're in the struggling state about this topic or whether they're in the living state with this topic. So go with me here. Some of the better questions to start asking. One of my absolute favorites, we have to talk about it first, is what is my goal? What is my goal? So whenever I come across something, it could be my husband and I are in a conflict, or I would on my way to the gym and I'm totally dog tired, or something at work is going on or whatever, and it's putting me in kind of like I'm frustrated or I'm just not energetic and excited about it. I always like to ask, like, what is my goal here? What is my goal? Because if I answer the question, well, my goal is my marriage. My goal is to get along with my husband. My goal is that we both succeed. My goal is to be a supportive, loving wife, not a control freak, right? Like just the question alone, what is my goal here? If my goal is to lose 10 pounds, or my goal is to get this muscle to not jiggle anymore, or whatever your goal is, then you can then go beyond that and you'll talk yourself into like, okay, well, I'm going to go work out. Even if I don't feel like it, my goal is XYZ. So you're not being led by that initial emotion, the initial emotion of anger, the initial emotion of I don't want to, whatever, right? Your goal is super, super important, and it actually will help motivate you, especially if it's your one-way ticket goals. Those things motivate people like none other. So definitely make sure that you keep those in front of you and use them, okay? I like to ask also too, another good question is, where did this come from? Or who told you that? Right? Where did this come from, or who told you that? Because like I said before, just because a thought comes doesn't make it true. Just because someone spoke a thought that they had doesn't make it true, right? Just because someone spoke something negative or nasty over you doesn't make it true. So are you taking that home with you? Right? Have you had negative things spoken over you and now you are just like living in it? Oh yeah, I must be that. I must be lazy. Now you act lazy, right? It's like, wait, who told me I was lazy? I'm not lazy. Or who told me that I couldn't do XYZ, right? What else could this mean is a really good question. What else could this mean? Because like I said, even though just because a thought came does not make it true. That goes for yourself, that goes for other people around you. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're really struggling, I like to ask myself the question, what else could this mean? Because this is not working out, right? Along with that, I also like to say, like, what am I believing to feel this way? So if I feel insecure, or I feel stressed out, or I feel overwhelmed or intimidated, I always think, like, what do I have to be believing to feel this way? Like, if I'm showing up at an event and I'm super have anxiety, social anxiety, or I'm overwhelmed, or I'm nervous, or whatever, right? It's like, what am I believing? Like, I must be believing that I have to be XYZ to be accepted here, or to be good enough, or it's my first time. I remember I went and played, and I hit some golf balls with my husband. I was an ex-athlete in high school, but like I never played golf, and I was a soccer player to boot. So like my foot-eye coordination is spot on, man. But like my hand-eye coordination, yeah, it's a little sorry. But so when I went to go play golf, I could feel myself getting like really intense because I'm super competitive, but I was really uptight, and half the time I would hit the ball really well, and half the time I would just biff it. And so I was realizing that the half of the time that I hit the ball really well, I was totally relaxed. I was totally chill. I let my body like do the pendulum thing very nicely. I wasn't overthinking it. I wasn't, thinking that I had to be a hot shot, or that I was going to look stupid in front of all these golfers who are killing it, right? I didn't have that like belief and pressure that I had to show up. And so whenever I didn't feel that way, when I wasn't running that through my mind, then I would hit the ball actually pretty well for a beginner. But whenever I was like, had that pressure on me, whenever I was thinking that I needed to perform, whenever I was thinking that I needed to be better than I was the first time on the golf course, then I totally biffed it, and it was awful. And so I like to ask myself, like, wait, step back a minute. What am I believing right now that's making me feel this way? Well, I'm believing that I have to be really good at this, like out the get-go, like natural talent, Tiger Woods status, here we go. That's total crap. All of us know that. Even Tiger Woods, he's been playing since he was a little kid, and he still sucks sometimes. But like, look how hard he's worked, right? And it's all, a lot of the mental things. And I always wonder, like, I wonder what he's thinking out there right now, and he's like biffing it. What is he thinking? What's going through his mind? So asking yourself better questions, you guys, is absolutely the first starting point. It sounds super epic, which excites me because it's doable. It's totally doable. When you find yourself in a struggling state, one of the quickest ways to get over to a living state so that you can be resourceful and be creative and get the stuff done is to ask yourself better questions. Okay? So definitely write down some of those that I gave you examples of. Come up with some of your own that work for you as well, but start paying attention to what it is that you're thinking. Pay attention to what you're automatically going on autopilot, what your Google mind is answering off your expectations, off of your experiences, off of your judgments, right? And then start asking yourself better questions. If you have a relationship with someone that you don't really get along with really well, and maybe you've judged them, or maybe it's been this, conflict between the two of you, it's like, what else could this mean? Could you get yourself to see what else it could mean from their point of view? Doesn't mean you'll agree, okay? Does not mean you'll agree, but like you can at least get to a point where you can go, okay, I can see at least where they're coming from, and now I'm going to respond this way. Okay? Gratitude. Gratitude is an absolute annihilator. You guys, listen up here. This, if you don't listen to anything else on this entire 30 days together, please pick this up. Gratitude is not this hokey pokey, hippy skippy, feel good, be good, think good. It is not. It is legit. It is an absolute annihilator. You cannot have anxiety or be angry and have gratitude at the same time. They don't coexist. Just kind of like the living state and the struggling state. You cannot have gratitude and a negative feeling, emotion at the same time. They cannot coexist. Gratitude annihilates it. So practice gratitude. When we start hitting our postings together on our daily, and I'm gonna talk about having gratitude on your guys' daily habits. You can start with 3. You can start with 7. There's this woman. I want to tell you a story really quick. So there's this woman that she wasn't feeling well. She had body aches. She didn't feel good. She was tired. She was fatigued. She had all these ailments that she was dealing with. And so she went to the doctor. And she honestly was expecting to get a diagnosis or at least a prescription. Okay? But something, that doctor was going to fix this for her. And so they took all these tests and nothing was wrong. They couldn't figure out anything wrong with her body. So the doctor came back and told her, she said, okay, well, I think what needs to happen is I think that you're actually clinically depressed. And this diagnosis was not what she was expecting, and it floored her. So much so that it really shook her to her core of like, she realized, oh, that's on me. Like that's on me. So she asked her doctor for 30 days. 30 days for her to go home. And if she could not fix it herself, then she would come back and take the medicine. For 30 days, you guys, 30 full days, every single morning, she would say and think on 7 things that she was grateful for. 7 things that she was grateful for every single day. By the end of the 30 days, she returned back to her doctor's office and she told her doctor, she's like, I don't need the medicine. I'm good. And the doctor was shocked, and she shared with the doctor what she had done and what she had been doing. And she moved on, and it absolutely totally changed her life. So literally gratitude and depression, gratitude and anxiety, gratitude and anger, gratitude and whatever, you can't mix the two, right? So if anxiety comes up, okay, I have anxiety right now. What can I be grateful for? What can I be excited about? Let me tell you a secret. Excited and anxiety feel very much the same. And did you know that if you have massive anxiety, and I have struggled with massive anxiety, so I'm not talking out of nowhere here. Did you know that if you can tell yourself, you can have massive anxiety and you can tell your body, I'm excited. This feeling in me, this racing feeling, the anxious shaking, the thoughts, the whole thing, I'm actually excited. I'm so excited to go do this. That's excitement that I feel in my body. Most of us have defaulted that feeling actually is anxiety. And then what do? We propel on it, right? Like we push the pedal on it to go faster and faster and faster and just like drive it home. We get anxiety about our anxiety, right? So what else could this mean? Anxiety comes up. What else could this mean? It could mean that I'm super excited to do this because really I'm a little bit nervous. I've never done it before, but like I'm actually really excited, right? What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful to go see this place. I'm grateful to go see this person. I'm grateful for this, whatever, right? Start asking yourself better questions and incorporate gratitude in with it so you can blast that anxiety. Say that your husband takes you off, right? Your husband takes you off, your teenager takes you off or whatever. What am I grateful for about this person? What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for my marriage. I'm grateful for, all, the nice things that he does for me. What am I grateful for with this person that just totally ticked me off? Right? And then asking yourself better questions. You'll be shocked. It will take practice. I'm not going to lie to you. I was not very good at this kind of stuff you guys right off the get-go. My brain would naturally say, I'm not grateful for crap. Or I am mad. That person was a XYZ. Why do I have to be grateful? It's not about them. It's about us being in the driver's seat to turn our heads, to be able to control our emotions, to be able to control our thought process, that control our life. If you have goals that you want to succeed, if you have places and things that you want to see and you want to have a lifestyle and you want to have relationships that you desperately want that are very important to you, okay, I'm not saying perfection because life will throw curveballs at you, but I am saying that you are in control of that. You are in control of turning your head. You are in control of the driver's seat of where your emotions and your thoughts are going by gratitude and by asking better questions, 100%. Okay, let me share this with you. It's one of my favorites. It's another action thing that we're going to put into play here today and the next couple days. So we live in a cause and effect world, you guys, okay? Something happens, there's an effect. Cause, effect. We know this. Okay. So everything works this way. Like everything works this way. And our natural human instincts are to avoid pain and gain pleasure. Always. We don't even have to think about it. It's just a natural human instinct that we all have. Okay, you want to avoid pain as much as possible, and we want to get pleasure as much as possible. Okay? So what happens though is what I call the ripple effect. Okay? So when there's an earthquake, say there's an earthquake out in the ocean, or there's a droplet, you drop a droplet of water, right, in a bowl or a pool, and the ripples come out, right? Okay, same thing happens. So what happens is a lot of people, so say that someone wants to go lose weight, okay? And if you're struggling with losing weight, or you're struggling with going to work out consistently, if you feel like you have no longevity, you struggle for being consistent in your eating healthy or in your working out, it's because you are focusing on the first effect, that first droplet. And for you, it's most likely painful. Okay? So that first effect is most likely painful, whether it's I am too tired, or I'm out of shape, or whatever of the stuff that we've been unfolding for the last couple of days, the thoughts that you have, usually like you're leading with them. Okay? But what happens when you get out to the second and the third and the fourth effects? Okay? Because those all exist. Cause and effect, that's how that works. In everything, it doesn't matter what it is, this is how our world works, right? So you go and you work out and it's really hard and it might suck and you might be sucking wind and you might have this whatever, you might be tired, but you push through anyway. And then the next thing you know, you lost a pound, and then you lost 5, and then you can see muscles in your arm, and then before you know it, you've like dropped 2 pant sizes or whatever. But those ripple effects keep going. That is how people go from never losing weight, morbidly obese, to all of a sudden they've lost 150 pounds and have kept it off, right? And have kept it off because they figured this out. They may not call it this, but they figured this out where they're asking themselves better questions, and they've changed their focus to where they're like, okay, this is gonna suck, but I'm gonna get past it. This is gonna suck at first, but I'm gonna get success. This might suck, I might be tired, I might not want to, my body might crave sugar, my body might crave crap, but success, right? Okay, so it works the opposite way as well. As far as if you're trying to avoid pain and get pleasure, and this is like, it can work the opposite way so like a smoker, you guys. For example, smokers don't smoke to die. They don't smoke to kill themselves, okay? They smoke, first effect, because it's going to release stress. In their mind, they've linked up that it releases stress. They get that high, that nicotine kick, and it chills them out or makes them feel good or whatever, right? They're going for that pleasure. But then come the ripples, right? Then comes the emphysema, then comes the pneumonia, then comes the cancer or whatever else. The ripples always come. And if we're only focused on that first effect, right? Like, oh, I'm going to go work out, or I'm going to sit here and watch a movie and eat a bag of chips. Like, we're going for that first effect. Okay, sitting here watching TV and eating a bag of chips has the second, third, fourth an effect, which most of us don't want. Working out, the first effect, we don't really want it. But the third, fourth, fifth, and so on, we do. Right? Like, we're always controlled by that first effect. We really need to practice looking beyond that first droplet, that first effect. And realizing that if we're trying to avoid something that's painful, you now have the skill set. Start asking yourself better questions. Start recognizing that you're in a struggling state with it. And be like, what's here? What's here? What judgments do I have here? What experiences do I have here? Are they BS? Are they BS? Because most likely they probably are. Okay? And the cool thing about the ripple effect, you guys, it's the same thing. It's the same concept if you guys have heard like the compound effect, right? It's the compound effect. At first, it might be small. The first droplet is the smallest. It's the smallest little doop. and the smallest little circle, and then they get bigger and they get bigger and they get bigger, right, as they go out. And that's what happens with your results. They might start small, and if you are patient enough and you stay honed in and focused, and you keep turning that head focus where you want to go, your results are going to multiply. You're going to multiply them. They're going to get bigger, better, easier, faster. It's going to become a habit. I promise you, at some point it will become a habit. It will be your natural response, and the struggling state will not be so intense. Okay, so for me, the struggling state was intense. The struggling state was like 90% of the time, and the living state was like 10, and now I'm totally swapped. I still get in the struggling state, I'm not gonna lie. We're not going for perfection here, but we are going for this life that you are in control, where you can turn your head, you can notice it, and you know what to do to switch it, okay? So what we're gonna do here is in the next day, you guys, we are gonna talk about rituals. And then, so stay with there, you guys, those are so important. Those are so epically important. I'm going to talk about them tomorrow. I'm not going to talk about them now to you. But so that's another part of us putting into action. What action are we taking? What action are we putting forth to get our success? We cannot lay in a hammock and expect to become a millionaire. I have not met one person that does that. That's not how this world works. But we now have skill sets that will help you get there. We now have skill sets that will help you get the goals that you want. So we're going to talk about rituals next, and then we'll move on to other better fun things throughout the next for this series as we go through the 30 days together here. But get psyched for the rituals. Get ready to start putting them into practice. We're going to start posting in the group together as a team. We're going to start keeping each other. The accountability part is coming after we do the rituals as well. And then I just got all kinds of loads more fun things kicking off next week for the rest of our time together. I cannot wait. I hope that you're enjoying it so far. Please, as you always, let me know any questions that you have, any aha moments that you have, any one-on-ones that you need. I am here, but I hope that you are ready and fired up with me, that we're going to start kicking this off and putting some of this stuff to action and into play to start getting that momentum, right? We're going to start creating that momentum and changing those habits that are going to get you the success that you want. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me today, and thanks for being here with me in this group. I've enjoyed having you. I hope that you are too, and I will see you on the next slide.